Hi guys, welcome back to the Frying Pan Podcast, a pop culture podcast focused on, take a guess. It's like a Door Explorer thing. That's, yeah, they say pop culture, and then I'm like, you got it.
No, you gotta be like, are you sure?
Are you sure? And then they're like, dude,
another pause.
Dude, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, all right, well, Frying Pan Podcast, pop culture. It's me, your boy, Dan, and I'm here with my buddy.
Your other boy.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Did you say Robbie?
Yeah. But it's gotta be Robbie.
Hey, Robbie.
You know?
How you doing, Robs?
I've had a nice week so far, I guess. It's been slow, but at the same time, like, I felt like I have been being productive to a certain degree.
It's good.
So, like, you know.
I get you, bro. I get you.
I would call it an up week for the corona, you know?
Probably in more than one way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, can I ask you something, like, about the last 3 weeks or so for you?
Sure.
Have you noticed, like, a startling amount of, like, our peers kind of just acting as if Corona's over?
Yeah, it's been really bothering me because, like, at this point, I can't tell if we're actually in a pandemic or if I'm just, like, I have schizophrenia or something. Because, like, a lot of people I'm friends with are just, like, going about their lives. Like, they're going to the beach, they're just going to places, and I'm like, weren't we, like, not doing this? Weren't we not supposed to do this?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. Some of them I don't talk to enough to call them out for it, but other ones I'm like, so we're doing this now? And they're like, I mean, you know, I wear a mask. And it's like, well, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you wearing one in the pictures? I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, you gotta see my face.
Yeah, I don't know. People are just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's shit isn't in lockdown, so it's over. And then Florida's like, we don't give a fuck if people die. And California's like, yeah, same over here. So, I mean, I don't know anymore.
Yeah. This past up week for me is just because I've been able to stay productive without really and doing stuff without, I guess, kind of defying like the things that we should do during quarantine.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I went to the drive-ins. Had a nice date there. You know, it was. I feel like that's like an acceptable coronavirus sanctioned activity. You know,
a little date, Bobby. Bobby went on a little date.
Yes, I had a date, Dan. Okay,
so cute. They grew up so fast.
It was very adorable.
That's interesting. I like, as obviously, like, the drive-in seems like the better alternative to, say, the movie theaters, but I was surprised to hear that it's actually still open.
Well, I think it, like, opened recently with the like the half, like, whatever our state did or whatever. Point is they haven't really been showing new movies. Obviously, our options to choose from was, like, the first Karate Kid, the first Avengers, and Zootopia. So, yeah, obviously, it's not the best choices. It's just kind of like a place to go and watch a movie and hang out. That's not the house, really.
Yeah, so what did you go with?
She chose the Avengers, actually.
I would have went for Zootopia.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, I would definitely want to have gone for the Karate Kids. Or Karate Kid.
Well, honestly, I would prefer the Jaden Smith one over the old ones, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Didn't that one have that, like, when Jaden Smith was a kid, and, Justin Bieber did a song together?
Yup, never say never, dude. I remember that song so well.
I always just remember, like, the beginning of Jaden Smith's verse, where he's just like, I can handle this!
Yes. That's exactly why, dude. It was so, like, adorable to see them try to act tough. It was great.
It was funny because, like, his verse was, like, the whole first part was just gassing Justin Bieber. It's just like, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, he's smarter, he's better looking, and it's like, Jaden, are you just self-deprecating? He's better looking.
I mean, dude, how do you think he got into that music video with Justin Bieber? Like, he's not Ludacris.
Oh, dude, yeah, that was another banger. Oh, baby, yeah, baby. I remember the good old days when people hated Justin Bieber.
You know, I don't know where he stands currently.
I think he's fine. I think well, because it was like he released Baby, and then it was like Justin Bieber pisses in mop bucket in restaurant, and it was like, okay, that's weird. And it's like Justin Bieber smokes weed, and just like a bunch of like random things. And then now that he's like,
Didn't he say like the hard R as well at a point?
probably, or maybe the A. I don't know. Maybe him and Ludacris were boys. I don't know. It's not up to me. But yeah, it was just like a spree where like middle school into like early high school, everyone hated Justin Bieber, and then like end of high school, everyone was like, "Yeah, we fuck with Justin Bieber again." And then he released Yummy, and everyone was like, I don't know, man."
Well, I feel like he has kind of just been under the radar after, because didn't he go and get married to that like random girl or something, and then he's just kind of been in that's it for
Haley
a while?
Baldwin. Yeah, they're just big chilling.
Yeah, so I said random
Yeah, I was
girl.
like, oh, she's kind of
But yeah, so I think he's just been chilling for like the last few years, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe he makes a comeback and he's like more annoying than ever.
Didn't he release an album with that Yummy song? Like, wasn't that the single off an album?
Did he release a new song? Wait, that was relatively recently, wasn't it?
I want to say like a year ago. I don't know if you want to get on that, but like, I don't know. It wouldn't make sense for him.
Apparently, he's got an album coming out in 2020 called Changes.
Oh. Or, maybe it was a single, and then Corona happened, then it was like, couldn't release the album or couldn't work on it. That would make sense.
Or maybe it's out already. Oh yeah, no, this album came out actually in February. So yeah, he has released an album.
Well, good to know we're keeping up on our
Yummy's
beats.
on that. Yeah, Yummy's on that. Okay, so you weren't wrong. You weren't incorrect.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
God, I'm looking at all the other album covers and it's just hilarious.
Is it just him like smiling with a bowl cut?
Well, it's like him trying to look edgy with the bowl cut, and a lot of them, like, he's got his hood up in two of them, and he's looking off, like, one, he's looking dead at the center of the camera like a boxer would, and the other's, like, offset like he's, like, Jack Ryan, freaking, like a super spy.
Yeah, it's all about the angles.
Yeah.
Respectable.
One of these just kind of looks like straight up Baby Driver. Anywho, we don't need a live cast Justin Bieber's album covers. Point being, going back to the drive-in though, so like, why were they going out of style? I don't think they're like, I think that it was pretty. It costed about as much as it would for like a regular movie.
I mean, I wouldn't say going out of style, but it's more like, I don't think you'd go to a drive-in theater alone. Whereas if you wanted to see a movie, I think you just go to the movie theaters alone.
Well, I mean, we covered a story a couple months ago about drive-in theaters going out of business.
Oh, that's right.
Like before Corona.
Yeah, I mean,
so like,
it's,
I don't know. I think they were moderately enjoyable. I think they were a great date idea. I guess it'd be kind of hard to go like get the boys together. Actually, I don't even think that would be hard because it was such a positive experience. Just because, like, all right, I'm gonna expose myself. I did a little illegal. All right,
ready.
You know, like, but we were in the car, the windows were up, but like, you know, me being me, I was like, hey, I have weed. Would you like to smoke while we watch this movie? And it was a great thing to do while watching a movie on a massive screen.
Yeah. Oh, did you like just sit in your like the front seat, or did you like reverse? Well, I guess you don't have a trunk to really sit on. But
no, we just sat in the back seat.
Okay, makes sense.
We could, yeah, you could see fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, drive-in theaters are a very niche thing. I feel that's probably why they'd be going out of style, because you're like, you think you could see yourself getting the boys together, but it'd also just be kind of weird. Like, I feel like it's definitely more of a date thing than like a let's go to the drive-in, boys.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, but at the same time, like, with the sell of, like, we get to watch a new movie while smoking weed the whole time.
It's... I mean, if that's the only appeal to it, then I'd understand why drive-ins would be going out of style.
Well, I'm more or less implying like I don't know. I feel like they could have business.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, like there is shortcomings. Like the audio quality isn't the best because you're using your car speakers. And,
Yeah. Like it's
on all that jazz. But like I don't know. I thought it was still a positive experience that I had, and like I haven't been there probably for like the last like at least 5+ years. So like I don't know. I thought it was nice.
I mean, I think the last date I went on was a drive-in theater thing. Yeah, that was like a year ago, but...
Do you remember what you saw?
Huh?
Do you remember what you saw?
No clue. Couldn't tell you. But it was...
Wasn't that good of a date, huh?
I guess.
Oh, wait, or it was a good date. Ooh.
Well, no, it was a long
Spicy.
time ago, I don't remember. But it was a good time. Yeah, I guess it also depends on what kind of car you have, because if you have like an SUV or a truck and you can sit in like the bed or like lie down in the back, that's a lot more enjoyable than just sitting in your chair, as opposed to I feel like the movie theater seating is a little more comfortable than your car seating.
You're not incorrect.
Yeah.
And like you don't, and it's not as far away as it is for most things, because like it's not like there's drive-ins everywhere. We had to go to this select town in Connecticut that was like 40 minutes away. So.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's just like a niche thing, and like with most niche things, they work for a while and then they don't, really. But I do agree. I like drive-in theaters. I think they're fun every once in a while.
I agree, and I feel like I'll go again, hopefully, before summer's out. Maybe they'll get a movie that's not like something I've seen really recently,
Hey.
or is very prominent in my brain.
Maybe look at the Age of Ultron next.
Honestly, I wouldn't complain. I would not complain.
I'd say Age of Ultron was my least favorite of the Avengers movie, but again, I wouldn't complain.
But it's also my least seen, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen the first one a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. I got you. But
Yeah.
fun date
Would you
idea.
like to jump into some topics, sir?
Huh?
Would you like to jump into some topics?
No, we're
No.
only doing a 14-minute episode today.
All right, folks. That has been the Frying Pan...
Big one coming out from Joe Rogan. Now,
Can you explain this to me, please?
okay, yeah, you'd have to watch the clip for it to make more sense. But Joe Rogan, you know him, biggest podcast in the world, yada yada. On his podcast, he was talking to... He was some military dude. I listened to like an hour of it, but I didn't really know who he was. I just know that like after the clip of him, well, maybe I should get into what it actually said. But he referred to video games as like a waste of time, and that they don't like have any benefit, and that they're addictive, and that they're just kind of bad. But the way he went about it was very odd, because obviously, like the way he went about it was, you're not going to get anywhere from playing video games. They don't really benefit you in any way, which, to a degree, if you're playing like 15 hours a day and you don't have any intent of like streaming or creating content with it, yeah, I'd agree. But if you're like, this is your de-stress and you're like, I just want to play video games, or you do it for a living, no problem in it. Absolutely no problem. But
But what caused him to bark up this tree?
they were talking about like bad habits and like addictive things, and he was talking about how he used to play video games. And I mean, in the article, it like timestamps directly onto the clip of him going off about it. But then he compared it to he's like, you can get into jiu-jitsu for 3 years, and then eventually you'll be good enough to where you can open your own shop, and then you'll have 100 people coming into your shop and shit like that. And he's like, or you can play video games for 3 years and get absolutely fucking nowhere. And it's very aggressive. It's like, yeah, it's very aggressive for no real reason. I mean, it just felt like very spiteful and like from the heart, like it was personal to him. But regardless, he went off about it, and a lot of people who play video games are in that spirit. We're not too happy with him, and a lot of people that are like big personalities in the gaming scene were like, "Hey, let's talk about this," because they were not too happy.
Well, I can see that Riot Games' Dash has spoke out, and he said that he would love to come on and talk to him about the value of games. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would, but like that's just such a really extreme approach, and that I feel like that just kind of shows how like ignorant Joe Rogan is of the online audience,
Yeah.
like about his own demographic and like the like. I'm not saying like he's the biggest podcast in the world. It's obviously not just gamers that listen to him, but at the same time, it's a gamers and the internet go hand in hand. So I would say a decent population of the users on things like YouTube and whatnot are people that play games. Point being, it shows his ignorance in his audience to
Yeah.
kind of like just trash something that people can casually enjoy.
Yeah. I think it was just. It was more. It felt more like a just out of touch kind of thing. Because when they were referring to, because they did talk about like, oh, people make a big career out of video games, and he was like trying to list off like what's popular, and he was like, is Fortnite still popular? Is CS still popular? Is Quake popular? And shit like that. And it's like when he was referring to it, he was referring to like people that only go pro in those games, and I don't know. It's just, they were referring like it. The way I saw it, it was the same as like, you have the same chance of being a professional gamer as you do as like a professional athlete, which I don't really think correlate too well, but that's what it felt like. It just felt so out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. He just kept going. Like, they didn't talk too much about it. They like transitioned to something else that involved like this dude. That was the other thing in this. This dude had a story of like. How he had a farm in like I think it was like New Hampshire, Vermont or something, where if parents would send their kids, like if the kids were on their phones too much or like playing too many games, he'd like send them there and put them through like a military training course. It just, I don't know, it felt so just again out of touch. I don't know how to explain it.
It seems like okay, so it seems like he's saying that he hates doing like voiceover work for fictional video games, like for like the UFC games. Because like I'm reading the comments of this, and people are like, "Well, like, what about all the times where he talked about saying that he loves the new virtual reality games that he has and they got for like his man cave in previous episodes?"
Yeah, I mean it's
So like,
you go.
I don't know, like people, because people are like, "Why is he talking about kids sitting around playing games all day and doing nothing?" But then he has him in a positive light. They're calling him a hypocrite in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a hypocrite. I think, like, he could have worded it better. Like, I'm hoping that what he's talking about is, like, you're playing video games for, like, 16 hours a day. You don't have any ambitions. Like, you don't work out. You don't eat right. Like, you're not, like, benefiting yourself in any way. But, like, he didn't word it like that. He just made it seem like if you're playing video games, you're not doing anything that can help you profit in life. And it's like, if you're having fun with something, you don't have to profit from it. You don't not everything you do in life has to make money.
Well, allegedly he said on more than one podcast that he was at one point a gaming addict, and he's talked about spending entire days, weekends playing World of Warcraft and not being able to stop. So maybe it's from like an ex-drinker or a smoker perspective where like they just really rail it down.
Yeah. I mean,
if that is true,
I could definitely see it like from that perspective of like I've been there where I don't do anything all day and I don't feel like I don't get anything productive done, and like that makes sense. I don't know. It's just like the way he worded it in this clip or like in the clips just doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem right.
Like I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, like man. Like you said, just could have been worded better.
Yeah. I don't hate Joe Rogan. I can't say my opinion changed on him. I think he's still entertaining. It's just, it's just weird. But, regardless. And yeah, he did voiceover work for the UFC games. He's not doing the next one, but that, I don't know. I felt like that wasn't really too related to the topic. They were just, I feel like the article was just like, we got to bang out a certain quota of words.
Well, because he talks about like how he hated doing that.
Yeah. I mean, voiceover work is very It's a lot of hours just sitting in a room
All right,
talking.
you're getting and you're getting paid. You like at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Very true.
Like he's a podcaster. Okay, he sits in a room talking all day. Why are we making that?
Well, no, because voiceover work is different. Because like you have to read a script, like you have to read certain lines, and you have to have a certain tone to it. With a podcast, you can just say whatever the fuck you want, however you want.
Well, I just don't think it's a tree worth barking up, personally.
That's fair.
However, a tree worth barking up is something cool that Chipotle seems to be doing for their employees. I thought was neat. So you've heard of like tuition reimbursement and stuff like that companies do to try and help out their employees. They don't really get talked about often, but Chipotle has been one of them, and it seems like their latest move is to actually cover 100% of their employees' college tuition fees. It's only to select schools. However, they'll even pay for you to go to online school through the select universities right now, because it's through various partnerships with these universities. That's how they're able to like afford it. But it's extending it to all their employees that can benefit from it. And their only requirement is that you work part-time there for 1/3 of the year. Or have worked there for 1/3 of a year and maintain like 15 hours a week.
That's not a bad gig.
No, not at all.
That'd be great. I mean, that's perfect. Because, I mean, I feel like these jobs are for people that, like fresh out of high school or, like, still in college and shit like that. Like, younger people. So, like, shit like this is such a good incentive for people to, like, actually work.
Yeah. And of course, this is kind of like it only covers certain degrees as well, but then they have also other like kind of grants type things for degrees outside of the like the outlined.
Yeah, I got you.
But it seems like they're covering a decent portion of them though. It's like 75 different business and technology fields. It seems like.
Yeah, I mean,
which is pretty good.
I mean, covering 100% of tuition in of itself is kind of insane. I mean, I feel like most of the time you hear doesn't really get above 50. I mean, last time I've heard of, like you said, like it's not talked about often, but like last time I've heard something of this, it's mostly like they'll cover 25 or 50%, but like 100% is kind of nuts. At least to me. I mean, granted, like getting your tuition paid would be pretty fucking nice for a lot of people.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it makes more sense that it's for select universities, but still, very cool. That's why we like Chipotle over Moe's.
Yeah. I still like Moe's, but that's just because I've never worked my way actually into a Chipotle.
Wait, like you've never been to Chipotle?
Well, I've had Chipotle. I don't think I've ever been inside one.
Oh, okay.
Like, and got my own thing. Like, I've been, like, handed Chipotle. Like, here is lunch.
Fair enough. It's fair.
But
yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't want to turn this into
I imagine they're pretty much the same thing at the end of the day.
Exactly. I was going to say, I don't want to turn it into a Moe's Chipotle debate because they're pretty much the same thing. It's just Chipotle has I guess, better marketing than Moe's does. Actually, is Moe's only, like, a local thing to us?
I think it kind of is.
Yeah, because I'm not sure. Because obviously, like, you hear about Chipotle, like, all around. But, like, you don't hear about Moe's that often. So I don't know. I don't really eat there too much anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. But, end of the day, shout out Chipotle.
Does seem like they're kind of limited to Connecticut, actually.
Is it?
Yep. Moe's is just a Connecticut thing.
Well, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, unless my Google is just like, nah, we're really only going to show you CT, but it never has before. It's only like Greater Hartford area as well, pretty much.
That's interesting. Just a local chain. I guess that's normal.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no one's going to take that from you.
Thank you. I'd appreciate if you did.
One thing I'm going to take from you
is
possibly the Major League Baseball season.
No, not my baseball.
I know, Bobby. I'm so sorry to do this to you.
But I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. I just have it on all the time. During this pandemic, I've been rerunning just old games just because I miss it so much. I just love baseball, man.
See, like the funny thing is like there's people probably out around in the world that are like that.
There is. I follow one of them on Twitter. We go to high school with him.
God. But regardless, MLB season, it went back underway, and like 4 games in, it might be in jeopardy because I want you to take a guess from where in the U.S. which team had a coronavirus outbreak within the team.
Florida, Missouri, or California?
Miami Marlins. You were right on the first one.
Oh, let's go. What do I win? Come on down.
Literally. But I guess like at least 17 people tested positive. Like that includes like players, staff, and like management shit. So
wait, at least?
At least 17.
What?
So that's always fun.
Wasn't like one of the main things of like sports reopening was like organizations like, yeah, we'll test every player before every game.
Well, that's exactly it. They get tested before the game, and then people tested positive, so they canceled the game, and then a couple other teams heard about it, and they're like, all right, fuck it, we're not playing either. And now people are wondering if the season's in jeopardy, but the MLB is very stern on this will not sway us. We will continue on with the season. It's like, okay.
Dude, I have never really had a true problem with being an American. Like all jokes considered about like the moving to Canada and moving and getting the fuck out of here and calling this place terrible and all that. I'm starting to mean it where I think that we all can't just fuck off for a month so we can actually have a fucking 2021.
It's actually insane.
Like, I always had just implicit faith that eventually, like, we would just be like, fuck it, alright, we can't all die. But that hasn't happened. At all. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do about it, but, like, it's not like we can move. No other countries will take us now.
Like, we're just kind of boned.
Like, really, like, Canada's over here calling us, like, a third world the way we deal with the coronavirus.
I mean, we fucking are, really. But, I mean, like, to stay on topic with this, well, because compared to the NBA season is in Orlando. They're in, like a giant bubble, essentially, where no one can go in, no one can go out, and if they do, because there's a couple of cases of one dude went to a strip club to get wings, and now he's got to quarantine for 14 days, which in of itself is hilarious, but also just like, don't be stupid, dog, come on. But
I actually find that very hilarious.
Exactly. But like, they're all quarantined, everyone's living in like the surrounding area, no one can go anywhere. Well, as MLB is, like, everyone's getting on planes, flying to different cities to go play against different teams, and it's like, and that in and of itself is kind of sketchy. I don't know. To be fair,
it's because MLB cares too much about their stadiums.
That's fair. I mean, that's kind of what makes baseball its own unique sport, of like different stadiums, like they have different outfields, so like different measurements of walls and shit. Like, it's kind of the only thing that makes it like, hey, come watch a game.
Yeah, okay. You know what? Fair point. I will not dispute that.
But like, at the same time, it's like, a lot of people aren't allowed to fly regardless, so why are we just flying from city to city, especially down to fucking Miami, which is just a hellhole in of itself. Like, I don't know.
Sheesh.
I don't know. It's just like people trying too hard to like stay afloat in terms of like financially, and especially like MLB I don't think is going bankrupt anytime soon. Like, their views are on the decline, but it's still a billion-dollar industry. I don't know. Not up to me, but regardless, just stay the fucking side, wear a mask. We can say it so many fucking times. You know what I mean? You
yeah.
got me?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's stupid. But what do I know? But also staying inside the realm of sports, I thought this one was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson at 51 years old is set to fight Rory Jones, who's a 54-year-old, in a exhibition match sometime in September.
Other way around, right?
What?
Tyson's 54 and Jones is 51.
You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me.
It's
on that.
okay.
But regardless, 54-year-old fucking Mike Tyson still swinging.
That's kind of, I thought he wasn't doing so hot health-wise like a few years ago.
I think you're right, but if you've kept up with him at all over the past year, he is in very good shape, and he still looks like one punch would straight take my head off my neck. I don't know.
So, like, are you implying that this fight between two 50-year-old men might actually be good?
Good isn't the word I'd use. Entertaining, sure, but
Okay.
yeah, I say that only because I feel people at this age probably shouldn't be boxing. I'm like, obviously they've been retired, they've gone through the ropes, they've done their shit, so like they obviously know what's going on, but I feel like your body is going to react to head trauma a lot differently at your 50s than like 20s, 30s, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. As well as, like, I don't know, I'm thinking, like, how old are these guys' ligaments? Are they gonna, like, rotate their hips too hard and just throw their shit out, you know?
I mean, I don't think they're that old, and they're definitely not in that poor of shape for shit like that to happen. I hope. But regardless, I don't know, this was very interesting to me, because I was like, Mike Tyson getting back in the ring, that sounds cool as shit. Because, I mean, like, Mike Tyson borderline murdering people was, like, a little bit before our time. But, like, obviously we still see the highlights and shit. But I don't know. I just found it so interesting that two 50-year-olds would actually want to get back in the ring. I guess it comes down to, like, when you love...
Maybe they're bored.
Yeah, it's like when you retire and then you get you'd get a job at Stop and Shop and be, like, a greeter. I don't even think that's a job anymore, actually. I don't think it's been a job for a while, but, like, I always remember it. Like, old people retiring and doing that. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, I remember that, like, Walmart. Like people would greet you at the doors for some reason.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, like, it's Walmart, dude, stop. Don't look at me.
Okay, man, I don't want to be here more than you do. Like, that's...
Yeah, like, straight up don't make eye contact.
Cut the shit, dog. Come on. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is like they got bored and they want to do something again, but just like, I don't know, like box for fun? I don't know. I just have a hard time like supporting it. I just don't want to...
Well, I doubt they're going to be like coming back to the ring. It's probably, it's supposed to probably build some fire for people, give someone to watch, you know?
Yeah, like
it's supposed to be a show, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to make, like, a consecutive thing, but it could sprawl into that, depending how it goes for them. Like, if it reignites a flame that they had, then maybe they'll want to keep getting back in. And I don't think anybody, in terms of promoting, would turn down a 50-year-old Mike Tyson if he's still hitting hard.
I mean, well, that raises the question, like, maybe a league of men over the age of 50 could be interesting, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But then,
well, think about it. Think about like all the old like military and army dudes that probably are like retiring around their 50s that are still physically able, that also have some combat skills. You know, I could see there actually being like I could see things being filled by them, like slots.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't disagree with that, but then like it ties back to like, what does that do to you health wise?
Well, I mean,
like
the health is irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a blood sport.
Well, yeah, when you turn 50, your bones can't break.
Well, I'm just implying, like, you know, maybe it won't be like maybe their records will be like, I don't know, 5 fights a year or something, because they take like 3 months to recover after every one.
Well, I mean, that's how fighting is now. Yeah,
Is
like
it?
you normally do like 1 or 2 fights a year. A lot of the training is intense and takes a lot out of your body.
There's no way. How are people walking out with these 36-6 records?
Because they fight over the. Well, I guess.
Like,
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Because it's just like one big fight a year or something. I don't know. I'm not too huge into boxing or MMA. I just kind of check in occasionally. It's always been the sport that I'm most like. I could see myself doing in terms of like having the most fun. You know what I mean? So I always stay interested in it, but I'd get my shit fucking mixed, man. I'd get destroyed.
oh, I'd get slapped.
Yeah. Especially in like boxing. I think in like mixed martial art I could like get lucky and throw like a flying knee and knock someone out, but
Dude, I've been like attempting to learn how to box a little bit with someone that knows how to, and all I know is that I'm awfully scared of a punch to the face that I know for certain is going to hit my hands, just because if I don't brace myself, I'm punching myself in the face.
yeah.
Like that type of like fighting where like you like there's just a certain set in stone way of doing it, and it's not just all wild. Like goddamn, I'm like, am I gonna give myself a bloody nose, or am I gonna drop the guard and get a bloody nose? I don't know.
Sure. I always find it so interesting with like boxing and MMA of like how in depth and intricate it actually is when you learn about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah. There's a lot of, I guess, like technical fighting, like is a total difference than like street fighting, because really, I feel like street fighting is just the main difference is you go down to the floor and you keep fighting in street fighting, and like there's things you can and can't do when you're in like a proper like fight for a sport, whether it's boxing or MMA.
Yeah.
So like just that fact alone, that like say in boxing that you can't grapple your opponent and take him to the ground, like it keeps you upright, so you have to bring a whole lot more technicality into your movements.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I don't know, a street fight, like me as a bigger dude, my goal would just be like, all right, get you down, get on top, call it a day.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You
yeah.
know?
Obviously, like, at the end of the day, you can't compare it to street fighting. Because, like you said,
Yeah.
street fighting is just like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to kill you or hurt you bad.
Well, but that's the thing. But I would never assume how much more technical it would be, like, without kind of getting a feel for it first. Like, they're just fighting. That's how I am, really.
Exactly.
But now that I know that, I'm like, oh, that's okay. Like, I see that.
Because, like, I've definitely gone through, like, rabbit holes of watching the technicality of, like, famous fights or, like, very specific, like, actions in, like, fighting sports. And it's always so interesting because, like, there's no way you'd think about it. I mean, I guess, yes and no, because, like, if you correlate it to, like, shit you know, then, yeah, it makes sense, but just from, like, an outside perspective, but regardless. Bottom line, I hope Mike Tyson or Roy Jones don't hurt themselves.
Well, and if they do, let it be them hurting each other and not too bad.
Yeah, I hope.
Well, like, I don't know, maybe what if they go at it so hard and everyone is just like kind of silent in the crowd, just like, holy shit, they're hulking out.
Well, I mean, like, they've been training for a while, and obviously they're definitely not going to lose like the muscle memory of like years ago when they were in their prime. But it'll definitely be interesting to see like the power behind hits like 30 or 20 years later. I don't know. Very interesting. I can't wait to hope that neither of them die. But I don't know. You got anything you want to sauce to the pan?
Oh, I've never heard that before. That was interesting. Okay, so we always like to hate on Black Friday, right?
Yes.
Well, it looks like as of right now, Target and Walmart are going to be staying closed for Thanksgiving, including Black Friday. Obviously, that's mandatory, all right? Like, if Corona was bad, like, now, and we can't get our shit together by the end of November, and some fuckheads are going out and doing Black Friday, could you just imagine? Well, really what I want to open this up to is, we're fucked if we don't get this shit done by holiday season, because so many people are going to be out shopping and doing all this bullshit, and it's just not going to be contained until, like, after January. Like, we need
We need something.
Point is, Black Friday looks like it's going to get canceled for most big retailers since Walmart and Target are doing it. And I imagine because they are, others might follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, like, thank fucking Christ. Dude, like, I mean, like, to start, you see how crazy people get on Black Friday for, like, a flat screen TV, that it would just turn into chemical warfare, where someone's just running in with a mask and then takes it off and starts coughing on people so they can get to the front of the line.
Oh, dude, Target would just turn into a cesspool if they didn't do this.
Yeah, you just have to nuke it at that point. But I mean, like, this should, I don't know. I mean, on the bright side, like, apparently vaccines are in the work now. Like, people are being, like, injected and tested with it. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know, like, you still don't have any idea where the fuck that's gonna go. And literally, like, all it comes down to is just, we could have been out of this a long time ago, but we're just fucking stupid, apparently. I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, like, it'll just probably turn to, like, 2 Cyber Mondays, no?
I imagine online shop, like, it'll be like, that's what retailers will try and do, like Macy's and all those places will be like, order online, like, that's how they'll advertise, is online, I imagine.
Yeah.
Just because, like, they want to be future-proof for if, like, things get locked down again.
Yeah. I mean...
So they're probably trying to get people used to ordering online as quickly as they can.
Yeah. I mean, on top of that, retail workers during a normal Black Friday get paid, like, $15 to get yelled at by, like, just fucking random people about the price and shit. And now they get paid fucking $15 an hour to try not to die. Literally, like, mission survive. I don't know.
You know, it's funny, actually. Mission Survive is a meme from a game called Halo, for anyone that doesn't know. And Dan, funny enough, I actually just played a mission in the series that was Mission Survive, or Objective Survive.
Oh, yeah? Is that only in one of the Halos, or is that...
I think it's multiple.
Okay. I thought that was just... Was it Halo 3? Yeah, because that's the one I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if there was more than one, but obviously, like, I'll always see, like, the meme of, like, Mission Survive. Shit like that.
Yeah, then the dun-dun-dun-dun, gosh. Actually, did you, some little gamer talk real quick. Did you see the, Halo gameplay? Any new,
yeah, Halo Infinite, it's there.
Honestly, looks really good to me.
I don't know. Halo, to me, just looks kind of, like, stale. Like, I don't think it looks bad by any means, but I just feel it's hard to really innovate it at this point. Like, they tried with Halo 5, and everyone just kind of fucking hated it, so they're just kind of stuck with what it is now, and I feel like, obviously not to, like, shit on you if you like it or anything, but I feel like most people are just kind of like the nostalgia of a new Halo game with the same old combat, if that makes sense. Like,
well, it seems like it's like actually shaping up to be a quite good game. It seems like the weapons seem to be pretty, like, people are happy about the weapon choices that they're bringing back and utilizing in new ones. Mechanically, from what they've seen so far, it seems like people are happy. But I don't know, I'm excited for it just because with the Master Chief Collection now and everything, it seems like it'll be on PC. I don't know, I just think it's also got confirmed co-op, which is nice for the story, which, like, a lot of people didn't like Halo 5 because for some reason Halo 5 just didn't have co-op.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I'm optimistic for it.
And I don't want to shit on your parade with what I say, obviously.
Well, honestly, I feel like that's fine, but I also know you haven't played a Halo game in probably, like, 10 years.
Yeah, roughly. I need to see a lot more. It's just kind of whatever from what I saw to me.
Understandable.
But I feel like that's how it was with most things I've seen from that, like, showcase or whatever.
In other news, California State University?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're requiring students now to take an ethnic studies class or a social justice class to graduate.
You know, I kind of like that.
See, I do and I don't. Like, I'm always against just making people take classes to graduate just on the just predicate on the fact that college is kind of really expensive to have classes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and like I understand like it's part of the experience, but like I can definitely see like someone that's, I don't know, in STEM and only will be in STEM kind of annoyed by this, just because like I think this type of stuff, like class requirement, is more like a high school level thing. As a college student, I feel like I don't need to be educated on social justice and ethnic studies, not at this current time of my life. Like, I feel like I lack the time to give this class like the proper fairness it deserves, I guess, when being taught. Mm-hmm. Like, I would see it as pointless. Like, in my head, I'm like, well, don't be a dick. And, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I understand there's education that needs to be, like, brought forward. But at the same time, like, I feel like it should be a high school level course. Because if this becomes, I don't know, standard for college, I feel like there would be a lot of people that see it as pointless, especially in today's day and age where people are only getting more and more educated on these matters. So, like, I can see it becoming less important, hopefully, as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you'd think, like, a lot of social justice and ethics should come down to common sense. But obviously, like, people are raised different, so they don't understand. But, I mean, like, to your point, I feel like you could definitely, like, it's understandable. But you could also make that same claim of just, like, having to take gen ed classes if it doesn't affect your studies. But, like,
I mean, I have, actually.
Yeah, I know, like, everybody.
That's kind of...
Everybody has to.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I think it's a good thing, for sure. Like,
Yeah, it's, like, education's never a bad thing. Let me get that out there. Like, I don't disagree necessarily with educating people. It's just, like, I would be like, fuck, man. Another gen ed.
Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, like, you're right, this should be more of, like, a high school thing, because obviously not everyone's going to college. And also, I feel like instilling, like, good morals in people at a younger age would be the better approach.
Well, because that's the thing. Like, here's going into this class, you're either all for it or you're not. And, like, the people that are in the class are going to be the dicks that are going to try and counterpoint everything and be like, oh, Jim Crow face. And, like, the people that believe it, or not believe it, are the people that are already educated on it are going to be like, okay, yeah, and then they're going to learn something. But, like, kind of like you said, if their values and morals are already kind of made up by college, you know, like, there's not going to be much enlightenment coming from that class, and, like, unless they're a very open-minded individual.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say that. I mean, because a lot of people, like, I agree with what you said. I was just saying, like, towards the last part of, like, people definitely change, and a lot of people, I guess it doesn't make sense if you put it to a college class, especially if, like, you're moving away from your family and their ideals. Like, if you get exposed to different ideas and, you know, like, what should be socially acceptable and shit of that nature, I feel like it would open you up to be more accepting, as opposed to, like, you go to high school and you're like, oh, I learned about social justice, and your parents are like, oh, I hate fucking any race or whatever.
Yeah, okay, that's definitely a fair point, and that's a good point for keeping it in college. I don't know. I'm against gen eds, but at the same time, there's definitely some pretty nice positives that come from this from education. I think if it is going to be a gen ed, like, I don't know, one of my gen eds was psychology, right? But I took that in high school too, so maybe do both. I think having it in high schools, that would be more beneficial than college. If there was going to be a change in education to follow suit with this, like, I would like to see it in high schools before colleges.
Yeah,
or at least both.
I mean, like, regardless, like, I'm fully on board. Like, I feel like an ethics class, like a social justice class, should be a gen ed class, especially with, like, the climate that's going on right now. I mean, like, I understand.
It's ethnic, by the way.
I see ethic. My bad.
Yeah.
No, my bad. But regardless, like, I think it's something you should learn about and you should be, like, more well versed on. But, like, yeah, of course, a lot of kids would just view it as, oh, it's another gen ed class. Like, who cares? But, like, it's something.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I literally gave, like, a crap about probably 1/3 of my gen eds.
Yeah. I mean, but I will say, like, in another light, like, I feel like this is something that would affect your everyday life, as opposed to say you want to do something with like writing and you're learning how to do fucking calc, like,
Alright, that's fair.
I don't know.
That's fair.
It's
definitely like not a bad thing. Like I was annoyed just to see another gen ed pop up, but like I can't complain about it. Like it's not like the course is extra.
Yeah, and it's also
it's
not useless knowledge.
It's history.
Is one way I view it.
Exactly. It's a humanity and a history class in a way.
Yeah. Which I mean, like, yeah, just replace fucking like if you want to like be like, can I take a history class or should I take the ethic class for people that are like super against it for some reason? I don't know.
Oh, that would be money. I would have literal no issue if the ethnic studies also counted as a history course, because I would choose that in a heartbeat over U.S. history for this probably 9th time in my education career.
What year did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue? It's like, shut the fuck up.
You know what's bad? I don't actually know that. Is it like 1452 or some shit, or 92?
Christopher Columbus sailed the blue in 1492, I think.
92. I don't know.
But fuck Christopher Columbus, so I mean...
Yeah, exactly. Like, his statue's somewhere in the harbor. I don't
Thank
care.
God. Yeah, dude, it's like... Let's teach you U.S. history about all these people that were actually pieces of shit. But we idolize, nonetheless. I don't know.
Well...
That doesn't go to everybody.
I'd be real. Yeah, and then like I don't like you only really hear Americans say that for some reason, but like every country's history is kind of them being a piece of shit. Unless they're like a new country, or not a new country, unless they're like a third world country, or like they were a country that was given their territory back after being occupied by another country. Like most current superpowers in the world, their history is just them being dicks. Like Japan was horrible to China back in the day. Horrible.
Yeah.
Really bad. And like that was only like within the 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Like
it's like when you think about it, like literally everywhere in the world has like some dark past.
Well, England's is horrible.
Yeah, like all of them are shit.
But
it's just like, hey, you want to learn about this shitty leader? And it's like, yeah, man, why not?
Well, for the history, I always hate calling like when it's history, man. Like it's doctored in the way that makes them look good already.
Yeah.
And like we're not woke for thinking that they're like, terrible people. Because like obviously by our current standards, they're not going to hold.
Yeah.
Very few of them will hold.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just... I don't know. It's like in school you learn about so much useless shit, it feels like. It feels... I don't know. It's all coming from a person that doesn't even go to school anymore. It's just coming from a perspective of like, this is something that I would have rather enjoyed learning about than fucking math.
Mm-hmm. Well, because it would have made you better off.
Well, yeah, it's something that would affect me, and obviously, like in high school, you take your gen ed classes because it's like you don't know what the fuck you want to do. So here's different things to expose you to see if you're interested in any of them, which most people aren't.
Yeah, well,
but c'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
I don't know. But
anything else you want to talk about, sir, on your topic list?
I liked that topic, by the way. It was a good discussion.
Thank you.
I mean, we could touch on Kanye going off on Twitter last week. That was I think that happened like that Wednesday or something.
Didn't we talk about it?
Not a lot. Well, because I don't think all of this was out yet.
Okay, let's talk about it, because honestly, I need to get recentered on it. Like, I hope this guy's doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess Kanye, he is bipolar. He deals with that, and he was having like a manic episode on Twitter where he was talking about like his wife Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner were like trying to send him to I think it was like in his words like a mental asylum or shit like that, but it was probably just to get mental help, which he definitely needs.
Mm-hmm.
So he was shit talking them. He was saying how He's been trying to get a divorce with Kim for a long time, and then something.
Oh.
Yeah, and then something of their oldest daughter they tried to abort. It. I don't know. He just kind of like popped the fuck off. No one really understood why, but it was very upsetting to look at. I mean, to my knowledge now, he's like apologized for everything he said, and I think he is getting help. But again, I mean, like it's something that definitely should have been private as opposed to him just slapping on Twitter and being like, "There it is."
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the social media curse, right? Like, because if someone does kind of go manic and they have a breakdown in some ways, and they are famous or a celebrity, they really do have a platform to project that and expose themselves, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I imagine for him, he was viewing Twitter as like a journal for himself or something, like somewhere to get all the information out. But yeah, because like this isn't the old. Oh, another thing is he referred to his, I guess like his marriage with Kim was equivalent. Nah, I can't fucking talk, man. He compared it to the movie Get Out, which was very interesting, but also very alarming.
Oh,
because if you've seen the movie Get Out, Kanye's not in a good spot. To say the least.
Yeah, man, like, I hope this guy's okay.
Yeah, it's just alarming to see. But it's like,
yeah,
it happens to...
It's sad.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people with, like, a platform where they pop off on, like, social media. I don't know. Regardless, hope Kanye's okay. He was supposed to release an album last weekend, but I'd imagine it got a little postponed due to, events. But... Taylor V.
Yeah.
Hope he's well.
Hope he's
Taylor
well.
Swift released an album, if you were curious.
Folklore.
Yeah. Haven't listened to a minute of it, but maybe I will.
I heard it's actually pretty good.
Honestly, like, I used to love Taylor Swift back in the day, low key. Like, what's the Romeo and Juliet song? You know what I'm talking about? Love Story. Oh my god, that's... If anyone hands me the aux, I put that shit on if I know I can trust them. Dude, I don't know what it is. I love that song. To this day, I love that song. You can't tell me you don't have a song like that.
I do.
Exactly.
I do. Like, there's nothing wrong with liking female artists either. Like it is what it is.
I mean, it has nothing to do with female artists. It's just, me.
What? It's the girl T Swift.
I know. Just me and I have to listen to edgy indie bands. It's not like me to listen to, T Swift, I guess. Just to make you cringe. I don't know. Regardless, if you want to wrap it up, go for it.
All right. I guess that's it for us this week, folks. That has been the Frying Pan Podcast, episode 91. To think that next week it's been 2 years since we've started this. Thank you for tuning in. As always, folks, we are on social media. The handle for both of those is the Frying Pan Pod, and we have a Gmail, which is in the panpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us over any business inquiries and or constructive criticisms there. And thank you for listening to us on any of the audio platforms that are out there, excluding SoundCloud. We appreciate it. If you could leave us a comment, we'd also appreciate that. So for the last time, folks, I've been Robert D'Onofrio.
Same.
And we've been the Frying Pan Podcast. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and have a good one.
My chair just broke. No, not actually, but it cracked.